There's so much depth from the world and from Latin America to Haiti. The first country to be free, independent, over 200 years later, is a country that has been stagnant, politically, economically, and social. I think to be able to exchange positive experience where countries have come together to look at the future with optimism, to recognize the difference, but to understand that we need to work together to solve the problems is essential. We owe it to Haiti, we owe it to its people, we owe it to history, and I think it's a great opportunity to have these exchanges because Haiti is not different than the examples that we're giving that have happened in Latin America, in Peru, in Chile, or in Poland, South Africa, Spain, Panama. So it's a great opportunity just to exchange and to try to put into perspective what could be a great future for Haiti.
Le Club de Madrid a une approche que nous partageons complètement et que nous trouvons très pertinente dans des pays comme Haïti. C'est une approche qui vise n'est pas à vouloir imposer des solutions, n'est pas à dicter quoi que ce soit au niveau de ce qu'il faut faire ou pas faire pour consolider les réformes diplomatiques, mais plutôt avoir une approche respectueuse, une approche basée sur le dialogue, une approche qui vise justement à partager des expériences que d'autres pays ont vécues et faire en sorte qu'on puisse examiner ensemble avec nos amis haïtiens quelles sont les leçons qu'on peut tirer de ces expériences qu'on a vécues ailleurs et que l'élément de cette expérience pourrait être appliqué en Haïti. Le rôle de l'Union européenne est celui, je dirais, d'un ami qui ne cherche pas à être un moralisateur, qui ne cherche pas, comme je disais tantôt, à imposer des solutions, mais plutôt de mettre à la disposition des Haïtiens, de nos amis haïtiens, un cadre de dialogue qui nous permette de leur faire comprendre quels instruments et financiers et politiques à l'Union européenne pour contribuer à cette consolidation du processus démocratique.
The fact that we succeeded in South Africa to build trust between the opposing sides was the most critical contribution that we have succeeded in making towards our settlement in the country. And I would like to suggest that if trust is not there between opposing sides, it's very hard to find a model to work forward to in the best interest of the country and all its people. But we just had to learn through the process of dialogue how to build that trust. And I think the best way to describe it is to say, put yourself in the shoes of the person on the other side, then you know where he or she is coming from.
The time is an important ingredient. Now the problem is the sense of urgency conspires with the rational need to have some time to learn how to listen to the other. The main experience is that to listen is much more difficult than to talk.
The Polish case consisted of a roundtable agreement around which all parties that were there sat and reached an agreement. But there was a glue, a linchpin that facilitated it, and it was the Catholic Church, the mediator between the parties and also a guarantor of all that was agreed upon. So I think this religious mediator, the Catholic Church, which is of relevance to Haiti, might be one element that is parallel between the Polish case and the Haitian case. Why I think in general one should look at the Polish example is that in a very short time span, in 20 years, maybe 25 years altogether, we went from zero to hero.
I think this conference is very interesting for a Haitian audience because it will enable them to understand that many other countries in very different parts of the world with perhaps totally different cultural, economic and social circumstances have also faced very considerable differences in the past. So I think the purpose of the exercise is to encourage Haitian decision makers to see that if there is the political will, it is possible to overcome extreme difficulties and very difficult circumstances in their own country.